Take a deep breath in, Canada, because this is going to be the biggest thing that you'll hear about in any capacity over the next few days, especially depending on what happens in the Toronto Maple Leafs and Boston Bruins series that very well might just end tomorrow. The Leafs are down 3-1 to the Bees, and look, there's no sugarcoating it. The Leafs have played poorly. Sheldon Keefe can say everything he wants about how he's not frustrated with the team's performance, and they've got guys that know how to play, and they can score, and they can do this and that, and he's not questioning the effort level of the team, yada yada yada. You could say all you want, Sheldon, but yeah, I don't know, man. We don't really know if his job is all too secure either. I mean, the way the Leafs are playing, is it over in 5? It very well might be, but in the midst of all of this Toronto Maple Leafs drama is a conversation centered around Mitch Marner, a guy who has been under the microscope for years now, literal years, ever since he made his debut with the Maple Leafs in the 2016-17 season. Marner has always been a guy whose performance in the playoffs was a conversation point. Sure, he would produce points, but you could debate the legitimacy of how well these point totals are to be received. Oh, he scores at nearly a point per game rate every playoffs. That's not bad, right? But then you actually watch the games and you realize, wow, this guy, he turns the puck over a lot. He does not control the play a lot. And sure, he'll score a goal like he did in Game 4 against the Boston Bruins, which was good for him to get that really nice backhander on the drag and go around Jeremy Swayman, but one goal does not negate an entire game's worth of poor play, especially out of a guy making $10.9 million a year, a guy whose contract expires at the end of next year, a guy who is going to have that contract expire as an unrestricted free agent, and a guy whose future in Toronto is not guaranteed. We already made the video a few days ago talking about some comments made by former Toronto Maple Leafs goaltender Andrew Raycroft and how, in his opinion, Mitch Marner is done, and the Maple Leafs are kind of running out of time here. Well, this time around we have ourselves some comments made by Elliotte Friedman that debate whether or not a Marner trade is actually a possibility. Take a look at this article on HockeyLatest.com. This was from a few days ago. It goes over some comments made by Friedman on the radio. Elliotte Friedman reveals a Mitch Marner trade could be on the horizon. Article will be linked in the description. This afternoon, Elliotte Friedman spoke on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, and the Toronto Maple Leafs were a main topic of conversation. First, Friedman was asked about Mitch Marner's continued struggles in the postseason, and in his response, Friedman compares Mitch Marner to another struggling playoff star, Elias Pettersson. I think it's really critical. You look at Pettersson, you look at Marner in Toronto, and you see a lot of similarities. You can see how both of those markets are reacting around those players so early on. I think Marner is his own worst enemy in the sense that he puts a ton of pressure on himself. In some ways, I think he almost mentally straitjackets himself. With Marner's struggles, many have begun to question his future with the Toronto Maple Leafs. After this year, he'll be heading into the final year of his contract. If the Maple Leafs want to bring him back, extension talks can start this summer, and if not, a trade could be in the cards, according to Elliotte Friedman. The calendar determines all of this, and we're going to get to a point where he can extend. It'll come to A, how well he plays, B, what the next contract looks like, and C, if it comes to a trade, what they're all willing to do together. And with this in mind, Friedman is pretty much saying that a trade is one of these options here. How if you wanted to explore the future of Marner, it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to stay with Toronto beyond 2025. And it will not just be because, oh, the Maple Leafs are done with him, they want to trade him, yeah, that's it, it's over. It would have to be a two-way thing, because Marner, right now on his contract, he has a no-move clause this year and next year, so if he does get traded, it will be at his hand. Whether or not there is some sort of a Matthew Tkachuk situation where it's like, yeah, hey, sorry, I'm not going to re-sign here, so y'all are just going to have to trade me, I'll give you a list of teams, and everything's going to be okay. Or if he just goes the entire Johnny Gaudreau route, says that he's going to re-sign in Toronto and then leaves in free agency, that would be insane. Like, we already know that Toronto is the megastar franchise city of the universe, but to have a superstar player do that kind of a thing to the Maple Leafs, have Marner pull off a Johnny T to the Islanders, that would be savage. So ruthless. And that guy will get booed every time he is in Toronto till the day he retires, and maybe even past that. He's from Ontario, like he's from the area. Of course, we know he grew up a Leafs fan, but the way things have been going, you could not say that it's been, peachy clean the entire time, that he would be super enthusiastic to sticking around, especially with all the money conversations you could have too, because he was overpaid in his first contract that he's got right now, 10.9 mil, so the expectation would probably be to get more money on the next deal, right? But I don't know. Is Marner worth 11? Is he worth 11.5? Is he worth Nylander money? Because I think a very good portion of the fan base of the Toronto Maple Leafs, a good portion of NHL fans that are tuning in, watching the Leafs collapse and not score any goals in games against the Bruins, I think a lot of folks would say, nah, that guy's not worth Nylander money. And could the ask realistically be in the Austin Matthews territory? You gotta give him something in the Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid range, 12 point whatever, because you know he's gonna ask for it. He has the right to ask. I mean, if the expectation was set that he can go out there and get a higher paycheck than what he's really worth. So, Friedman's bringing it up, man. They gotta work out terms. If it is a trade, they're gonna have to start working out on what's appropriate, what actually makes sense here, where Marner would be willing to go to, and, there have been other video ideas popping up over the past few days as to what these destinations could be, but I didn't want to focus on that just yet. We'll save it for another day, That's what they call a tease in the business, kids, right? So, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Very simple question here. The year is 2025-2026. Is Mitch Marner a Toronto Maple Leaf? If yes, how much is he signed on with the Leafs for? If not, where is he and how much money is he making there? Maybe Marner goes over to one of the teams that has the low state tax in the US. Maybe the market is not as big as the Toronto market, so he's not getting as scrutinized. Maybe he takes a smaller dollar amount because he gets more money with the take-home pay, and if he goes to a team, let's just toss out a name. Tampa Bay. If he goes somewhere there, where he is not the number one guy or one of the top two guys paid on the team, and he doesn't have all the expectations, then okay, maybe it's a little bit easier for him. Maybe Marner thrives in areas where he's not supposed to be the guy. This, of course, is a ridiculous thing to say because throughout the years he has been a 90-point guy, almost hit 100 points multiple times, but when the going gets tough and when everything is on him, when the spotlight is shined directly into his field of view, that is when he disappears. That is when he tosses the puck over the glass to give the opposing team a very desperately needed power play to win the game in overtime. That is when he continually fumbles the puck and makes one good pass to Matthew Knies and scores one good goal in the next game. But we're supposed to forget about the rest of the bad plays that he had. Nah, sorry, we're not going to do that, fam. Mitch Marner has been on such a slippery slope the past few days that it's now getting to a point where Friedman is talking about the idea of trading him away on the radio. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the idea of a Mitch Marner trade. Do you think it's happening? Do you think it's not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about his destination in 25-26. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.